So I just installed a new turbo like 3 days ago. I was getting ready to go to SLS. We were on the way down there, and then I probably did something wrong with this whole AN fitting, and it ended up coming loose when I was driving, and I didn't realize it for a second. I hit boost. It was really weird because it was way slower than usual. So I ended up pulling over. Well, actually I let it idle and it died. So then I thought that it's definitely blown up. So now I'm draining what's left of the oil. You can see everything's coated all the way down, even the doors full. But now I'm gonna pull the pan. Hopefully I caught it in time, but I'm not really confident. So I just pulled the pan off, and I definitely spun a rod bearing. I just don't know which one yet. So I can't wiggle that one around, but it's definitely a whole nother color, so that's definitely the one that spun. I don't know about the mains yet, but it looks like the crank's coming out. So here's what the bottom cap looks like. The bearing's still in here, which it kind of makes sense why it's just super sparkly and there's not very many chunks in the oil pan. But if you come and look at the crank itself, it doesn't even look that bad. I can't feel anything with my fingernail, right here at least. I haven't turned it all the way over yet. So I'm kind of nervous to see what the mains look like. That's my next thing. Okay, so the top bearing on cylinder number 3 definitely took the majority of the beating. You can see there's a bunch of material missing, but there's still a bearing here. Usually when people spin a rod bearing really bad, the bearing completely disintegrates, really. But I can't really tell just from feeling it right now if the crank's gonna be okay. I mean, it doesn't feel very bad. It might be just needs polished a little bit, but we'll just have to see. Okay, here's the consensus or the conclusion. All the bearings look pretty trashed. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna use any of them. This cylinder number 3, the rod got heated up pretty well, so I'm not gonna use using that. We have 3 extra rods, so I might swap out a couple of these as well. This one has some heat marks. But the surface itself looks okay, the bolts look okay. It's not like the cylinder 3 ones where they're hot. You can tell they're hot, but other than that, the crank definitely needs polished a little bit. I don't know if you can see it. There's just some color on it, not really any scratches, but that's pretty much it. I've decided that I'm gonna try my hardest to keep the entire motor in the car. I'm gonna pull the head off and swap internals and hopefully polish the crank while it's still in the block. So bam, the head's off. Looking just at the top, the pistons look fine. There's a little bit of carbon. The DevCon is holding up nicely. The cylinder walls aren't very bad at all. I did end up honing them just a little bit with like the ball hone. You could see those two I already honed. Here you can see the rods I replaced. I replaced 2, 3, and 4. This is kind of like an old school trick that one of my buddies showed me. Basically, you just wrap a shoelace around some sandpaper so then it puts even pressure around the piece of sandpaper, and then you progressively go up in grits so then it polishes it nicely. You'd see everything ended up being pretty good. I did take the carbon off the top of those pistons, and now it's about to go back together. Here's the new bearings. These are King's Racing main bearings. Those are the main caps. This is everything put back together on the bottom end. Here's the old bearings that came out. You can see they're pretty trashed. And this is me putting the head back on. here's everything all put back together. As you can see, it's running nice. As always, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.